I remember sitting in that sterile doctor's office, the fluorescent lights humming overhead, when Dr. Martinez looked me straight in the eyes and said the words that would change everything. "Margaret, I'm sorry, but the cancer has spread. With treatment, you might have 6 months." That was 10 years ago, and I'm here today to tell you why those 6 months became the most important words I never listened to. The drive home from that appointment felt like I was moving through thick fog. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white, and all I could think about was my granddaughter Emma's upcoming quinceañera. Would I even be there to see her in that beautiful dress we'd picked out together? The radio was playing some cheerful song, but all I heard was static. When I pulled into my driveway, I just sat there in my old Honda, watching Mrs. Chen next door watering her roses like it was any other Tuesday. How could the world keep spinning when mine had just stopped? That first night, I called my daughter Sophia. I could hear her sharp intake of breath through the phone, then silence. "Mommy," she finally whispered, "we're going to fight this." But I wasn't thinking about fighting. I was thinking about all the things I'd never done, all the words I'd never said, all the dreams I'd tucked away in the back of my heart like old photographs in a shoebox. You see, at 62, I thought I knew what my life was supposed to look like. I'd raised 3 children, worked 30 years as a school secretary, kept a tidy house, and attended Mass every Sunday. I was a good woman, a responsible woman, but somewhere along the way, I'd forgotten who Margaret really was underneath all those roles. The chemotherapy was brutal. I lost my hair, my appetite, and some days, my hope. But something unexpected happened during those long hours in the treatment center. I started talking to the other patients. Really talking. There was James, a 70-year-old jazz musician who brought his harmonica and played soft melodies between treatments. Maria, a grandmother like me, who taught me to crochet while the medicine dripped into our veins. And young David, barely 30, who reminded me that age doesn't protect us from life's hardest lessons. These people became my teachers. James told me about the songs he'd written but never recorded. Maria shared her dream of seeing the Northern Lights. David talked about the novel he'd started but never finished. Listening to their stories, I realized we were all carrying the same weight, not just the weight of illness, but the weight of unlived dreams. One particularly difficult day, when the nausea was overwhelming and I felt like giving up, Maria looked at me with those wise brown eyes and said, "Mia, what if this isn't the end of your story? What if it's just the beginning of a different chapter?" Her words hit me like a gentle earthquake, shifting something deep inside my chest. That night, I pulled out a dusty journal I'd bought years ago but never used. My hands shook as I wrote my first entry. If I have 6 months, what do I want those months to mean? The words flowed like water breaking through a dam. I wrote about my childhood in Puerto Rico, the smell of my abuela's café con leche, the dreams I'd had of becoming a teacher before life took me in different directions. As weeks turned into months, something miraculous happened. Not just in my body, but in my spirit. I started saying yes to things that scared me. I enrolled in a Spanish literature class at the community college. I learned to paint watercolors, creating messy, beautiful pictures of the beach where I grew up. I even started volunteering at a literacy program, finally becoming the teacher I'd always wanted to be. The 6-month mark came and went. My scans showed improvement. Dr. Martinez smiled and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." But I knew it wasn't just the medicine healing me. It was the act of finally living authentically, of honoring the woman I'd always been, but had been too afraid to fully become. My granddaughter's quinceañera was everything we dreamed it would be. As I watched her dance in that beautiful pink dress, her face glowing with joy, I realized that the gift wasn't just that I was there to see it. It was that I was truly present, fully alive in that moment, in a way I'd never been before. 10 years later, I'm not the same woman who sat in that doctor's office. I've published a small book of poetry in Spanish and English. I've traveled to places I'd only seen in magazines. I've learned that my voice matters, that my stories have value, that it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. The cancer is still part of my story. I have regular checkups, and some days are harder than others. But I've learned that healing isn't always about the absence of illness. Sometimes it's about the presence of purpose, connection, and authentic living. If you're listening to this and facing your own impossible diagnosis, your own 6-month sentence, or even if you're just feeling like your best days are behind you, I want you to know something. Your story isn't over. Maybe, like me, you're just getting to the good part. Maybe those limitations you're facing aren't walls. Maybe they're doorways to a life more beautiful and meaningful than you ever imagined possible. What dreams are you carrying in your heart today? What would you do if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started living like this moment is the one that matters? Because here's what I've learned in these 10 unexpected years. We don't get to choose how much time we have, but we absolutely get to choose what we do with the time we're given. Your story matters. Your dreams matter. And you, exactly as you are right now, you matter more than you know.